Also today, starting literally now, millions of student loan borrowers could see a big hit to your credit scores as the Department of Education starts collecting defaulted student loans again. So what does this mean? Plain English, it means the feds are going to start making people pay off their debt, right? You've got to pay these loans, even if it means they have to take a cut of your paycheck. Some 9 million borrowers plus could end up seeing some significant, potentially triple-digit drops in credit scores if they're not able to, get over the line with what they owe. All of it after the Trump administration and the Education Secretary, Linda McMahon, you see her there, announced this change last month. They ended that pandemic-era pause in collections put in place under former President Biden. NBC's Brian Cheung is joining us now with more on what this means for you. Okay. You have student loans. Let's say you have student loans and you haven't had to pay them back and you're not a bazillionaire. You know what I mean? What do you do? Like, what are experts saying? You need to handle this so that you're not going to get this major ding to your credit score, which could follow you for literally years.
Yeah, well, now that the government is collecting on these student loan balances, well, then the simple answer will be to begin repaying the student debt. But I do want to point out that for those that are carrying this debt and maybe don't have other options, there are ways that you can kind of address these immediate payments. First off, by maybe using an income-based repayment plan. By the way, there were more options that were available under the Biden administration. The Trump administration has taken a lot of those off the table, but there are still stripped down versions of essentially income-based repayment plans that might be available. And depending on the type of loan that you have, it depends on whether or not it's private or public. You can rehabilitate or even consolidate your loans to make those payments a little bit easier, maybe a little bit more smaller in some cases as well. And then there are also loan forgiveness options depending on what type of loan you have, depending on whether or not you're able to pay it over 25 or even 30 years. You might actually have the remaining balance forgiven. But again, all this has been very confusing over the last few years. People thought, wait, I thought Biden was going to excuse my debt, or I thought I was going to get some of that consolidated. But now the Trump administration is saying they don't want taxpayers on the hook. You have to start paying effective today.
There are some folks who might be watching saying, like, wait a second, you borrowed the money, now you got to pay up. But there are others who would say, wait a second, it's actually not that simple.
Yeah, look, and if we zoom out here, student debt is a major issue. A lot of people have described it as kind of a ticking time bomb in terms of consumer debt because it has overtaken credit cards as, after mortgages, the next biggest payment that people have to face in terms of the debt that they have to pay on a monthly basis. So now the government is recollecting these numbers. Yeah, it has, again, raised this question of are colleges just simply charging too much for tuition? And if that is the case, then the government, which unlike other types of consumer debt, is the major servicer of this debt. Well, could they do anything about it? The Trump administration is saying they don't want to. Essentially, they want to make sure that people who have taken that money out repay it themselves, Allie.
Brian Cheung, all sorts of good information there. Thank you very much for that. We appreciate it on a pretty big day. Thanks.
Thanks for watching. Stay updated about breaking news and top stories on the NBC News app or follow us on social media.